Hey guys, so I wanted to talk to you a little bit about essay number 3, your style essay. I have received some questions about this essay, and I know it's asking you to do something different than you've probably been asked to do before. So I completely understand that, and the objective of this is to be able to really understand the rhetorical strategies that are used by these other authors. These are some of the greatest writers on earth, and we want to be able to see, well, what are they doing? How are they doing it? What does it look like to do it? And so it's pushing students to get out of their own writing style, or maybe even think about what it means to have a writing style. Do you think about the rhetorical strategies that you're using? So the writing strategies, your word choice, how you are constructing an argument. And if you don't think about those things, this is a good opportunity to be gently encouraged or forced to think about those things. So, for example, if you choose Niccolo Machiavelli, you will notice that he is incredibly pragmatic, probably more pragmatic than any of the authors we have read prior to this and any authors we will read after this. And so he is what he would say is realistic and pragmatic, and he's just saying it as it is. Whereas some of these other authors, such as even Fromm, they are incredibly idealistic, and they're hopeful for human potential. Meanwhile, Machiavelli shocks a lot of readers by saying that men are a sorry lot, among other things. So, how would you construct an essay like this? Well, if you notice, I have many examples, student examples. So if you look at some of those student examples, if you were to write about how to be a good student, you would not actually write about some of those qualities that maybe I would want to see, right? So you would probably have a whole section about how to appear to be a hardworking student while not necessarily being so, and maybe the means that might be necessary to achieve the goal of getting a good grade and passing a class. And those might be questionable means, such as cheating or lying about certain situations to get extensions. So that would be an example. So if you were to write about being a good student, qualities of a student, we aren't actually talking about authentic, morally decent qualities that I would want to see. And so that's the trick of this. How do we embody what Machiavelli would say within this piece of writing? And so I want you to notice that he is incredibly detailed. He gives an example for every single point he makes. So you'll want to give specific names and details. You will want to give analogies. You will want to give aphorisms, which are strong statements. You'll want to use words like his favorite transition word is therefore. So you'd want to use therefore to keep in the essence of Machiavelli. You would want to use wise. He uses that regularly throughout this piece and throughout all of the prints to, instead of saying you would be dumb to not follow these rules, he implies it by saying a wise leader would. And so think about that. Like, again, the way that we persuade our reader. And so be really aware of that and read those samples. One sample is how to make a Disney movie, and her first part is of deviating from the source material. And it starts saying, a movie bearing the acclaimed Disney logo must, therefore, serve as an adaptation that bears only the most superficial resemblances to its original source material, preferably one that is literary in nature. If the public domain melting pot that is fairy tales and legends does not suffice, then the studio must acquire the rights to the works of Lewis Carroll, A.A. Milne, Edgar Rice Burroughs, and such other acclaimed authors of ages past. And so it keeps going like that. It starts by saying, that Disney only uses the most superficial resemblances of original stories, and then it gives some evidence of that. I mean, it almost immediately talks about Rudyard Kipling's The Jungle Book and how it is deconstructed by Disney, and how only a skeleton remains by the end. And so keep that in mind to look at samples, look at the introductions of these sections of each reading. And when you are writing, you should sort of have a checklist of what it is that these writers accomplished, and am I accomplishing this? Am I accomplishing it in word choice, in sentence structure, in strategies used, in overall organization, in the presentation of the argument, in the types of evidence used? And again, I have a checklist for you as well when you look at the style and rhetoric document in this same title folder. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of background of what I expect from you. You can reach out to me in messages anytime, and I wish you the best. I can't wait to read these.